Is it recording?
Is that a red dot?
Yes.
Okay.
This is my audience. Meet Little Dog. She is the cutest, sweetest dog a person could ask for. She keeps me company, she loves me unconditionally, and she even tries to protect me. She is also adopted from a shelter. Hello, I'm Sydney Penalver, and tonight I'm going to be talking about the benefits of adoption and the harm of buying dogs from pet stores and from puppy mills. Some people go to pet stores because of convenience or because they want a specific breed. And the problem with that is pet stores typically buy their dogs from puppy mills. And puppy mills are facilities that breed dogs for profit. And according to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, or the ASPCA, there is no legal definition of a puppy mill. So they're able to operate with almost no regulations, and there's no way to track facilities because of the lack of legal regulations. These puppies can be treated as products that are meant to be sold instead of as actual dogs, instead of as animals. So they're not treated like living, breathing animals. They're just treated as products. And they are typically living in cramped, unsanitary conditions because the breeders only care about the profits. So they're trying to breed as many puppies as possible and fit as many dogs into as small of a space as possible. And these bad conditions can lead to sickness in the dogs and even death. And female dogs, the female breeding dogs, are treated like machines. And they are given little to no recovery time in between litters, and their puppies are taken from them almost immediately after being born. And that leaves the mothers and the puppies traumatized. And that makes it harder for the dogs to socialize as they get older, so they have a harder time fitting in the home environment. And these are terrible conditions, and the puppy mill industry robs other animals in shelters of homes. And according to the Humane Society website, 2.7 million cats and dogs are euthanized every year in shelters because there are not enough people that consider adoption and enough people who go to shelters for dogs. And then the shelters become overcrowded. The best way to stop the puppy mill industry is by not supporting it. Don't give money to unregulated breeders and adopt your puppies from shelters instead. You will get an amazing animal companion and you will be supporting a worthwhile cause. There are endless benefits to adoption. As I mentioned before, those 2.7 million dogs per year are euthanized, and you could save one or more of these lives if you would choose to adopt dogs. And you will also free up shelter space, so they'll have room for other animals to move into the shelters. There are also health benefits to having a dog. Having a pet reduces stress and depression, and they will give you unconditional love, and they will reduce your loneliness. Puppy mill pets are not well cared for, and they are not under a vet's care. So when you take them home, they can have unforeseen health problems, and that's not a problem when you adopt a dog, because they typically are spayed and neutered when they get to the shelter, and then they are overseen by a vet, and those costs are covered by your adoption fees, and then that overall makes buying a dog from the adoption shelter much less expensive. You may be wondering what you can do to help animals in need. There are many options. The first option, and the most obvious option, is to adopt a pet. And this Saturday, the San Antonio Pets Alive website is going to be working with PetSmart on Days of Allah from 12 to 4, and they will be having an adoption event. Another thing that you can do if you are not able to take a dog home full-time is to foster an animal. And you will give them a short-term home, and that will free up shelter space, and they will be able to get used to a home environment. And if a dog is recovering from surgery from being spayed or neutered, then having them fostered at your home will give them extra time and attention and space away from other dogs so they can recover. Another way to help is to donate your time by volunteering. And if you volunteer at a shelter, you can walk, feed, groom, or play with the dogs and give them extra attention. So today we discussed the problem of the puppy mill industry, how to combat that industry by adopting dogs, and how to improve animals' lives. So adopting Little Dog improved my life. I urge you to volunteer and adopt, make a even bigger difference. Thank you.